But yeah, no, it's exactly. But you know, they're always going to be searching for it. They're always going to be trying to create it, and that might be part of the whole. Who knows with the military industrial complex that's got rolling around in their head. You know, why would you make such a mess out of Iraq? I mean, just I mean, part of it I can understand. Okay, you blow up their country, then we have to rebuild their country, and we make money both blowing it up, and we make money rebuilding it. So I get that part. But
rebuilding it.
whose mic is open, fucker? Din guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ram,
sure. Din guy. Turn your mic off, you fucker.
Ram, you're right. They don't write code for $2 a day, but we can hire five developers in Shanghai or Beijing for the cost of one here. So do the math. It's not hard. And these people in my, my image here, my whatever online image, you know, they are working for $2 a day. They're building irons and fans and all kinds of cheap plastic
See,
printers.
I look forward to competing with that kind of software because open source software is just going to eat that kind of software up. It would be stupid to pay people to build software in that case. That's what's really going to
Yeah, well,
happen.
my point was, well, my point as well is that you might have these people that are standing in these like chicken lines where all they do is hang chickens all day and slice their throats, and they go around in this fucking in this cyclical bullshit. And some of these people might be they might be bon vivants. They might be fucking somebody that's very educated and has very good ideas that could actually save or create different industries or stuff that we could actually progress from. The thing is that those people never have a fucking chance. And what pisses me off about that is that we're benefiting off of them doing this bullshit, and they're trying to make a wage and make a living, of course, because they want to fucking survive and do what they have to do. But there should be a standard where there should be I don't even want to say that there's a test, because you can't actually put a test on some type of knowledge like that. You can't put a test on like Einstein. You can't say like, oh, Einstein, I want you to take an SAT test. Oh, you didn't pass the SAT test, Einstein, so you're out of it, And all of a sudden he comes up with all these fucking these beautiful genius fucking equations and ideas. There should be something where these people that are that are a little bit above the standard, and that can give a little bit more to society science wise, that can get rid of some of the hurt or some of the suffering or some of the pain, that can we can
You're
more
being
cool.
redundant. It's the same speech. Same speech. Third time.
Well, yeah, I think we talked about that last week and maybe even the week before about how Einstein had a slightly dysfunctional type mind. Brilliant though he was, he could visualize what it was like to ride on the edge of a light beam going the speed of light, but couldn't find his home address in Princeton. So yeah, I mean he's probably an example of somebody who might not do so well on a GRE or an SAT, but I certainly wouldn't want to live in a world deprived of his contribution. So
Oh
I guess
yeah.
I guess that's my way of agreeing with you.
Oh, he's so cute. He's so cute.
Sorry, but you're gonna have to go. Anyway.
I don't get
Yeah, I
Remy's
don't get
comment
Remy's
at all,
comment at all.
but whatever.
You're just wasting time with this shit, asshole. Get a life. Retarded people. Anyway, yeah, fuck the hurt. Fuck the whatever. No, whatever. I don't even get that shit. Uh, Obviously, we can't win at other people's expense. That would be my argument. So we're not winning if we're enslaving other people for our benefit. I mean, it's just, you can't, you know, it's, people are made out of people, you idiot. It's like the Soylent Green is people. People is people, idiots. People are made out of people. That's right. People are made out of people.
Yeah, well, I mean, my whole point was is that like somebody like Gary, he might not have a fucking master's degree in philosophy, but I can tell you something. I've listened to a lot of people that have master's degrees in philosophy, and most of it is fucking bullshit. And and this isn't stroking you, Gary. I told you this before. I've listened to you, and I've listened to a lot of other people. You actually have a lot better foresight and principles than a lot of these other fucking douchebags. So just because this asshole has a fucking doctorate and fucking some kind of crap, his voice has some kind of fucking has more fucking. No, well, then that person's voice has more of a fucking substance than yours does. No, I don't agree with that, and I won't. I will not. I would actually like somebody that, you know, like you, that would say, hey, you know what? Okay, well, listen, it doesn't take me fucking 10 weeks to fucking sit there and do a video on Atlas Shrugs. I can do it in fucking, 10, 15 minutes, and I can abbreviate it and abridge it, and yeah, and more people can understand it. And it goes back to the whole thing, and I'm not going to jump on a different thing, but as far as education goes, you have to pay for all these bullshit credits where people should actually have access to the information and to get their own credits and have a fucking subsidized or standardized test where they say, okay, listen, I don't have to pay $50,000 to take this test. I did the hard work on my own. I sat there, I studied it, I listened to the fucking lectures, I did the fucking the tests on my own, and I want to pay you $100 to take a fucking standardized test. I want my fucking degree, so I have the same fucking opportunity as one of these other Rockefeller family that had the opportunity out of family to get into a fucking, a class 4, college and have the same opportunity to have the same voices that they do. And you know what? We're never going to fucking have that. And that's what pisses me off.
Yeah, well, true. We're never going to have nothing because, yeah, people are just like I said, I came into Stickam last night. It was just, just looking for some kind of conversation. And there was, there's all these rooms, and they got 100 people in them, or 500 people, and all this stuff, and it's all like, Asian asses, or Asian kneecap, and then people with big feet, and I mean, all these rooms, and it's all this bullshit, and you're just like, what the fuck? I mean, what percentage of the human race actually gives a fuck about anything? I mean, they got technology like this and they're wasting it on just nonsense, and you're just like, yeah, we're so far from any kind of goal line. I mean, it's like we are, it's like the game is in New York and we are in California, and there's just no way we're going to throw a pitch that far.
No, it's pretty dismal. Somebody said in Debate Faith this afternoon that like 2% of the world are atheists, and all the rest are Christians, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, Zoroastrians, Wiccans, etc. So that gives you some idea of the breakdown. Not a lot of people out there willing to engage in any kind of critical thinking.
Yeah, it just doesn't even take much thinking. I mean, that's the part that's so spooky. That's just a little one. I mean, not believing Hansel and Gretel is a reality is just such a tiny little thing. I mean, that's barely using your brain.
Well, not even that though. Where's the motivation to even critically think? Like, seriously, can you imagine, and I'm going to use you, Gary, as an example, if you were in a biology or a chemistry class and the teacher was trying to teach, and you came up and you were like, hey, listen, why are you wasting your time? It's basically all about consumption and reproduction. And he tried to go on, with his bullshit, and you were like, hey, listen, no matter what you say, it's still about consumption and reproduction. He kicked you out of his class. Even though that you were right, you would be fucked over. It's ridiculous. It's complete bullshit.
Well, that's the part, though. I mean, that's the part that's just so scary, is that you really wouldn't need that much time to get up to speed. I mean, the truth is that, a 4-hour documentary, 5 hours maybe at the most, then you can take care of biology, physics, psychology. I mean, you can explain every bit of everything a human needs to know. You can number like that. I mean, every stinking bit of it. You could probably do it in 5 fucking hours.
And I can imagine you going, okay, professor, can you now get to the important stuff? And he would sit there with his textbook in his hand and wiping his ass with his other hand, and he would not have a fucking thing to say about it. And then he would probably fail you because you fucking made him look like a piece of shit.
Well, I don't know. Well, remember, it's phloem up and xylem down, or something about tree tissue, and then you could do something about meiosis and meiosis, and yeah, well, it's, but some cells have penises and others don't.
What he'll probably do is just chuck you out of the class. I got thrown out of a topology class by the dean of mathematics because I guess he wanted to bang some girl in the front row, and I was sitting next to her, and he didn't want the competition. Then I got thrown out of a creative writing class by some guy who's supposed to be a professor, supposed to be some up and coming, Western genre author. I don't know. He didn't like something about me. Laughing because he's walking around jiggling the change in his pants all the time. So they're pretty tyrannical professors, man. If you got to suck up to them, or you're gone.
Yeah, absolutely. I learned that in. Well, I was gonna say I actually learned that in a literature class. Literature, you're supposed to be able to read a book like Beowulf or whatever else, and whatever you take out of it is supposed to be what you absorb from it, and that's your opinion on it. You read Beowulf and you're like, okay, well, this is what I get from it, whatever. If your opinion differentiates from what the professor's is, exactly what you just said, they fucking blackball you. They don't give a shit whether you have your own view on it or whether you thought, Hamlet was different than the way that they viewed it. If you don't view it the exact same way that they do, and this has nothing to do about Democrats or Republican, it could be a story like fucking Bill was actually, not a bad person. He was just actually ostracized, and that he was looked upon differently, and he should have actually been, basically, more emotionally looked at as not a bad person. And you say, well, yeah, you know what? The Grendel, he had a bad start. The guy looked like a fucking, a pile of shit. He was pissed off. People fucked with him his whole life. Yeah, and he was pissed off. So yeah, what did he do? He came and went after the other people. And if the professor looks at him like, no, he was a monster. He was the, so and so is the witch's son and blah blah blah. Then you're an asshole. That's not the way it should be. You should be able to actually voice your opinion, have a decent thought on it, and if you can actually propose a decent argument about why you think that he or she is that way, then you should be graded upon that, fairly. But you don't.
Yeah, I remember a friend of mine after class, we were like walking over to the gym to work out, and he goes, man, why are you making things so hard on yourself? This class is an easy A. All you got to do is go along with the professor, just say what he wants you to say, and it's an easy A. I don't know. Guess I'm too much of an iconoclast. But he was right. If I had it to do over again, I'd just, spew out the pablum verbatim, take the A and move on. Forget about the debate.
Yeah, I think it just depends on, look, we are talking personalities here, and I'm agreeing that, this is like talking about cops or something. Most cops are assholes, blah, 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 blah. But I'm sure that there are professors who are, really interested in the subject matter, and so they want the challenge. I mean, if I was a professor, I'd want the challenge. I'd want somebody to say something that made me think. That would be a great experience for me as a professor, right? I'm always sick of explaining all this ABC shit to people. It'd be nice if once in a while somebody threw something at me, that made me do something. But you can see it though, like this the Professor Anton types. I would not like to be in a Professor Anton class because I'm pretty sure that's the structure, man. That's got a routine and he's got an agenda, and you don't march the agenda. You disrupt his agenda train, with your tangent. It's always going to be considered a tangent, because you're not on his Pollyanna train anymore. I'm sure he's not too much fun.
Yeah, I noticed Professor Anton
I'm sure not one of his students is something you would call a rationalist. I'm sure they're all riding unicorns. They're all like mats, because that's it.